Welcome back to the channel. Okay, anybody that knows me or that follows this channel knows I have a serious issue with my passion for the 10mm. And that passion foremost would be in the vein of the Smith Wesson line. Years and years ago, the very first one was the 1006, and then the 1066, and the Model 610, their revolver, and it doesn't get any better. And on my holy grail list, of course, for me, number one is the Bryn 10. If you don't know what that is, you can go look it up. Otherwise, if you're a fanatic of, say, Miami Vice, Don Johnson's character carried one in the first season until they put him in a Smith & Wesson, something that looked like this but was chambered in 45 ACP. So in my lineup, the Model 1076 right here was always on the list, but I probably had it in the fourth spot maybe, because the 1076 is a very cool model. Some of the examples of it were F.B.I. handguns, and for me, generally, it just fell into that category, and I never really thought that the day would come where I would say that it's in a serious running back and forth between number one and number two in my book of where I would put it, realizing this exact scenario. So what makes this one so special? Well, the title probably already gave it away. There was a certain number of these that were sent to the FBI. And the hope at Smith & Wesson was they'd be selling them to the FBI like hotcakes. And history shows that isn't exactly the scenario. But what puts this one over the top, and normally I would tell you that I'm doing a benchtop review, and then somewhere down the road, I'll let you know when, look for the video, I'll get the opportunity to go to the range. Well, it happened in a different order. My very good friend, David Brown, picked up a new one of these, the Colt Delta Elite, and absolutely had to go today. So I'm like, well, I absolutely have to go with you. So this is in the opposite order that I would probably normally do it, but who cares? So why am I wearing the white gloves? Because obviously at this point in time, you know that it's not going to be a safe king or a safe queen, but anybody that knows me already knows that. I don't have anything that, for instance, this very rare example of a 10mm Ruger Blackhawk came in my possession via Mr. Paul Hasman 440, and it was unfired. I fixed that. So the reason I'm actually wearing the gloves is after what went down this afternoon at the range, I'm just trying to get the bodily fluids from transferring to my hands. Boom, boom. So, what makes this one move from the fourth or the fifth position to probably number one, even if I ran across a Bryn 10, is the fact that this one, the research has been done, and you got I don't know if that will show up, the embossed letter from Smith & Wesson. And if you want to go find out more about them, you certainly can. Otherwise, a lot is discussed in the letter from Mr. Jinx himself, the historian for Smith & Wesson. I'm not sure if he's still there or not. This letter was sent to one of the previous owners in 2006. It says, in reference to your inquiry on the Smith & Wesson 10mm pistol, Smith & Wesson began development of a series of 10mm pistols in 1990. After the introduction of their line of third-gen pistols, this series of 10mm pistols was developed on the Smith & Wesson Model 4506 frame, which is a 45 ACP. I don't happen to have one of those. I have a 645, similar, but basically it looks a lot like this guy. The first production model was the 1006. This guy right here was manufactured in February of 1990. This was soon followed by a short run of other 10mm pistols, such as models 1026, 1046, 1066, and the 1076, and the 1086. The factory selected the beginning serial numbers for this series as 1000, and these numbers were set aside as numbered handguns. The production pistol began at series number TEP 1012. The production line of 10mm series of pistols continued until 1995, when total production stopped, except for on a special order basis. One of the important models in this series was the model 1076. Sorry, I'm going to take a moment. I was going to have a breakdown right there. Just kidding. The model 1076, which became the standard handgun for the FBI. The total production of this series is listed below. The 1006, they made 26,978. The 1026 was 3,135. The elusive model 1046, they only made 151 of those. The 1066, they made 5,067 of that guy. And the 1076, they made 13,805 units. And the 1086 was 1,660 units. This large frame pistol dropped from popularity as the smaller, higher magazine capacity model 4006 grew in popularity. Happen to have two of those. I didn't bring those ones out. Grew in popularity, and the model 4006 and the new 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge replaced the 10mm pistol. Sad day. Anybody that's in a 10mm knows that the line, almost the 10mm production from any manufacturer, almost completely disappeared. Giving credit where credit is due, Glock was one of the strongest to keep producing. And the letter goes on. We have researched your Smith & Wesson Model 1076 10mm double-action pistol as an F.B.I. trade-in variation, caliber 10mm. In production records, which indicates that your handgun with the serial number TVK6649, I mean, in case you're blind, it's already there anyway, and besides that, go ahead, try to get it for me, was shipped from your factory, from our factory on February 19th, 1994, and delivered to the Pacific Flyway Wholesale Company, Midville, Utah. The records indicate that this handgun was shipped with a 4.5-inch barrel, satin finish, and wraparound black grips. The pistol was originally shipped to the Firearms Unit F.B.I. Academy, Guantanamo, Virginia, on October 11th, 1991, and returned as a trade-in to Smith & Wesson on June 1st, 1992. We trust that the information furnished will be helpful and of interest to you. Sincerely, Smith & Wesson, Roy G. Jinks, historian. it is, as far as I'm concerned, it is absolutely priceless. I like, I don't know if that there. Caution, capable of firing with the magazine removed. Now, the FBI, they had a few requirements, and one of the things for them is that they wanted a frame-mounted decocker. So, in order to not have the fear of trying to lower the bobbed hammer, you simply reached up with your thumb and safely decocked. Oh my God! Look at that. Sorry. I absolutely was compelled to clean it upon returning, and the other requirement was that it did in fact not have a magazine disconnect, so that the gun will fire with the magazine removed. Now, I would show you how that system works, but I personally think, and opinions vary, you can have your own, but I personally think that there is zero reason to have a magazine disconnect on your gun. I've heard all of the stories and all of the, but what this and what that. Well, the FBI was right, at least once. These days, maybe not so much. The idea is, if you are in a scenario where you now have a loaded gun, and you still have, maybe you haven't fired at all, and somebody reaches up and grabs it, and they knock your mag out. Now you have the one round that could possibly save your life stuck in the gun because you don't have the magazine in it. So the FBI requested that not be present. The gun is a single action, double action, and like I already said, frame-mounted decocker on this one. Most of them all have the slide-mounted decockers. So you'd they are a single stack magazine. If you nine in the mag, so you would possibly have 10 if you were to plus one it. This does have the Trigicon night sights on it, and even though this gun is from the 90s, they are actually still glowing. They're not quite as bright as a brand new set. I have Trigicon vials in my 1911 Ed's 1911 that were put that I got from Heine Specialties, and actually in total darkness, once your eyes acclimate, these are a lot brighter than I thought they would be for being as old as they are. Like I already said, I don't believe in having any safe kings or queens. And oh yeah, and this guy actually was also unfired. So if you have any questions or comments, I know I have run across a lot of people that tell me that they have never had the pleasure to enjoy shooting a 10mm pistol. All I can say is, if you get the opportunity, oh, look at how nice and clean and shiny that is in there. It is just in fantastic shape. Of course, after today, I don't know how many more rounds got put through it. A lot. I can tell you, I could not stop shooting it. Nice checkering on it in comparison. See the big difference. They have the similar checkering on both the 66 and the 06, but they definitely went all out on the front strap in comparison to other models. So I will have some footage here on the end. Not as much. There'll be more on the actual range day video, which will follow after this one. But if you do get an opportunity to shoot a 10mm, if you enjoy something that brings a little extra power to the party, you will not be disappointed with the 10mm cartridge. When people ask, what is a comparison? The comparison would be to a 357 Magnum. And I don't know about all, but I have yet to find a state that you can't legally hunt with the 10mm round. But this thing was absolutely a pleasure to shoot. All stainless steel, a decent amount of weight to it, really helps with the felt recoil in your follow-up shots. I really like the trigger in this. So, questions, comments, please leave them down below. Otherwise, enjoy a little bit of range time with the F.B.I. trade-in Smith & Wesson 1076. May not be the moment you're waiting for, but it's the moment that I'm waiting for. The Smith & Wesson 1076 F.B.I. trade-in. Bullseye. Didn't lock back. This is also not the mag that came with the gun. This is one of mine with the yellow followers. And that was... it's impressively accurate. Let me grab a mag and do that again, because that was fun. Okay, live, either good or bad, but the plan is hit him in the shoulder. Yellow follower did not lock back. Other yellow follower did lock back. Giddy like a schoolgirl. Other shoulder.
acceptable.
That, I did not pull a single one that time with this.
That is acceptable. And now I'm back to the Winchester.
I can't stop shooting this. Of all of the Smith 10 millimeters, this guy is the only one with the frame mounted decocker. Putting it back into double action for your first shot. I just cannot believe how the slide feels on this. Bottom left. Did not lock back. And I said bottom left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's that group. And that's that gun.